es esto?
No sé.
Alright, we're in Peru. We're in Lima tonight. We just flew in. It's the middle of the night. First time in Peru, and we're really just gonna check out Lima. Not gonna try to do too much. Just get to know the city. So we're in Lima, Peru, but we are not in the tourist area. Most tourists, when they come to Lima, they go directly to Miraflores. Pronouncing that right. We are in Jesus Maria, which is more of a kind of middle class, just normal, very central neighborhood. We're here for a couple of reasons. One, I tend to like to stay outside of the big tourist area and then go into that area when I want to, rather than being stuck in there all the time. I'd rather see the real city. And the other big reason is my wife's got a sort of conference, a training that she's going to that's in this neighborhood, and we wanted to stay close. So we're going to be here for a few days. After she finishes with that, we may explore outside of Lima a little bit, maybe. Don't hold me to that, because I kind of like to travel in depth and slow. I don't like to rush from one thing to another. So we might just stay in Lima the whole time and get to know the city as well as we can in the week that we've got here. So here we go. So as usual, the first place we've stopped to eat in Lima is a cevicheria, because we're ceviche addicts. And while we're waiting for our ceviche pescado, that's fish ceviche, we're snacking on something that we really should be eating with it. But the ají, the hot sauce, is amazing. Super spicy. So this little corn dish is something we really should be eating with the ceviche, but yeah, we couldn't wait. So this ceviche is a little different from ceviches we've had before. Now, we already knew that Peruvian ceviche was different from Ecuadorian ceviche. I'm not sure if it's just because we're here right when they opened, but the fish hasn't soaked in the lemon a very long time. It's almost more like a sushi than a ceviche. It's got a little bit of the lemon cooking reaction on the outside, but it's still pretty raw. It's not bad.
Tiene buen sabor.
See? What just happened to us?
We burn.
We just ate the little yellow peppers in the ceviche. I like spicy food, but oh my god, we're dying.
No sé.
You don't know? You want to buy one? Lychee maybe? No, I don't know what that is. Give me a second. So we actually caused a little trouble recording as we were walking around. A lot of these little businesses did not want people taking any video, and I guess something to do with the government or people spying on them or causing trouble for them. They thought we were something other than tourists. One of the things we're noticing is just how calm and safe it is here in the park at, it's 11 o'clock at night on Thursday. We're in the Jesus Maria neighborhood, barrio. There's a couple different churches and parks here, but we're like right behind one Grande Cathedral right behind us. Big church, I guess is what I'm trying to say in English. So yeah, it's really safe here, surprisingly. It's not that you wouldn't be safe at 11 o'clock at night in a park in Ecuador, but it's mixed. There's places that would be okay, there's places that definitely aren't. Really depends on what town you're in. But you couldn't do this in a big park in central Quito. Late at night, it would get sketchy. And here, there's families out, there's people playing with their kids. It's real calm. It's actually quite nice. Day two in Lima. Right now I am walking from my barrio neighborhood district, whatever you want to call it, to the tourist area, Miraflores. So it's about an hour walk away. And I know that because I downloaded the offline version of Google Maps. I went into Google Maps and downloaded the city of Lima. So even when I'm offline, I can figure out where I am and where I'm going. Yeah, we'll see. Lima's been an interesting city so far. It's not perfect. Traffic is bad. It's hot. It's 12 o'clock right now. It's noon, and I've got sunblock on, but I can feel it's not really cutting it. It's the sun's intense. Comparing it to Ecuador, comparing it to Quito, where I live, there are some things that are better. Like, I want to go across the street, which I'm doing right now. Traffic waits. Like, the cars will wait when you cross the street. They won't just run you over, which is really cool. It's really cool to have a little bit more respect and culture from traffic. But there are some other things that are a little bit hard to handle. Lima is more expensive than Quito, and it's not that the food is better or worse. These folks just had some sort of disaster. Yeah, they dropped a bunch of shit. Every once in a while, you're just in the right place at the right time. That's a big oops right there. Okay, where was I before that distraction? Alright, so the food, the comida. The food in Lima, okay, so it's a lot more seafood oriented, but it's a lot more Chinese and Japanese. There's a lot more soy sauce, a lot more salt. It's a more international sort of flavor. Man, this is a hard street to get across. All right, so it's a lot more. It's not a traditional Andean style comida in Lima. Now, I've only been here 2 days, right? 2 days, so don't chew my ass off, right? Like, don't get all mad at me because I haven't had enough time here to really know. But this is my first impression. I like the food in Quito better than I like it in Lima. I'm sorry to all you Peruvians. But the ají, the seca de pollo, the menestra, it's just, there's something a little bit more natural and a little more authentic when you don't pour a shit ton of fucking soy sauce in it and some food coloring. So that's my impression of the food on day 2. Give me time. It's gonna change. So as I walk around the city, I notice there are fewer little shops in every neighborhood than there are in typical cities in Ecuador. It's got a feel that's a little bit more North American. It's a car city, not a walking city. Like almost any neighborhood you're in any city in Ecuador, you walk out the door, you've got restaurants, little tiendas, even shopping malls within walking distance. And this city, it's more apartment after apartment after apartment, long blocks with, you know, maybe a few little shops, but more than you would have in the US, but not what I'm used to. This is a less walkable city than certainly Quito, Ecuador, certainly most of the cities I'm used to in Ecuador. So a little more than halfway through my walk, I decided to just hang out under a tree in the San Isidro Park. Take a little break, maybe take a little nap in the shade. This is something I might do in Quito. Like, the parks there are pretty nice, and yeah, I could just chill out under a tree in a park in Quito. But in most of the other cities in Ecuador, I would not do, for a couple of reasons. One, I feel really safe here. The other is, man, there's no mosquitoes. For being like a warm coastal city near the equator, I've had no mosquito bites. I've had no fly bites. Nothing is bugging me, literally bugging me. So that's cool. I don't know if it's the real consistent ocean breezes are just kind of moving all the insects out, or if it's because it's kind of a dry city or what, but real nice. Definitely goes in the pro category for Lima. So this is Inca Plaza. I would call this tourist central in Lima. I always end up buying a hat. I don't know why I don't remember to bring a hat with me, but I was getting sunburned, so now to add to my collection, I got a Peru hat. Yeah. For a tourist market, it's actually really laid back. It's not bad, really. While I walked all the way from Jesus Maria to Miraflores, I decided to take a taxi back, and I did exactly what you're told not to do as a tourist. Like usual, I broke all the rules and I got away with it. I took a little collective pirate taxi. Instead of the normal taxi price between the two locations of 15 soles, it was 4 soles because I took a collective. Actually, really nice Venezuelan guy. Had a great conversation. Got his contact info so that on a future date, if I want to have a private driver show me around a little, I can. The guy was cool, so I don't think I'll have a problem with him. Don't always heed the warnings and the advice. Sometimes it's best just to go with it and trust that things will work out. I mean, I tend to be lucky, but don't live life scared. Take a pirate taxi every once in a while. We're heading from the neighborhood we had been staying in for the past few days, Jesus Maria, over to Miraflores, which is really the tourist neighborhood. We've got 2 days left in Lima, 2.5 days, something like that. So we wanted to actually spend a little time experiencing the tourist side of things rather than just a normal middle-class neighborhood. Price for the taxi between the two is 15 soles, 15 soles. That's it's a little more than $4, maybe $4.50, something like that. So I've been waiting for this. I've actually been trying to find ricotta relleno, and here it is. Ricotta peppers are my favorite, absolute favorite peppers, and we found it. Can't wait to dig in. I'll tell you how it is. Yeah, it was good. This was at Cafe La Paz that we had the great ricotta relleno. It was actually a little bit difficult to get from the city of Lima down to the waterfront. Kind of a long walk. Lima's got a lot going for it, but it could definitely do a lot more work on the waterfront. It was a little bit dirty down there. The water didn't seem that clean, and there weren't a lot of services. There weren't a lot of restaurants. It was just hard to access, and not as nice as I expected, considering the rest of the city. So I mentioned previously how safe I felt in Lima, at least in the
better neighborhoods. I would say this is one of the big reasons why. Pretty significant police presence.
Alright, last night in Lima, one last awesome meal before we head out to the airport. I just ate llama. No wait, I just ate alpaca. Not llama. Alpaca tastes surprisingly good. Usually animals that cute aren't supposed to taste that good. Sorry, but wow. Yeah, just about to head out, go to the airport, head back to Quito. But yeah, it's been a good trip.
So that was our week in Lima. Obviously, there was a lot that we missed. I got sick a little bit in the middle of the week, so I wasn't as active in hitting the tourist sites as I would have liked to have been. Sorry about that. But also, this was just kind of the first taste. And I was kind of comparing in my mind the whole time Lima versus Quito, because I'm much more familiar with Quito and a little bit more comfortable there because I've spent so much time there. Lima's got a lot going for it. It's more modern. It's more organized than Quito. I think most tourists, most people would probably prefer Lima over Quito. Me, I didn't. I like a little cooler climate, so Quito's climate's a little better for me, and I like the food, as I mentioned previously, in Quito a bit more than Lima. I'm not a big fan of soy sauce, and there's a lot of fusion Asian cooking going on in Lima that didn't appeal to me that much. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed making it, and if you like videos like these, please remember to like and subscribe.